Alex, are we live? Okay. Good. Good morning, everyone. My name is Virginia Harger, Chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Wednesday, October 14th, and the special meeting of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is categorized as a special meeting that is being held at a time other than when our regular meeting was to take place. The protocol for this morning's meeting was previously reviewed by Corporation Counsel, who indicated to me that it is compliant with the executive orders issued by the governor and fair for those attending in person or watching from a remote location. Just a reminder that all commissioners and staff and those in attendance today in the auditorium are reminded of the need to wear masks that cover the nose and mouth throughout the meeting, even when speaking. Your cooperation is appreciated. Would everyone present in the auditorium please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I invite all who are participating remotely to do the same. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll continue with our agenda, beginning with our roll call. When your name is called, please verbally indicate you are present, and I'll begin with those who are participating remotely. Commissioner Parkins?
Present.
Commissioner Tickey?
Present.
Mr. Panico, our consultant?
Present.
Commissioner Kelly?
Present.
Myself, Commissioner Harger. Mr. Rossetti, our administrator? Leave the room for a minute, okay. Mr. O'Neill, our assistant P&Z administrator, ZEO. Mr. Nappi, our downtown projects coordinator.
Present.
And Mrs. Vernassos, our recording secretary.
Present.
For the record, Commissioners Motto and Wadowski and alternate commissioners Laskos and Usal notified me that they were unable to participate in today's meeting. A couple of points before continuing with this morning's agenda. This is the Commission's 19th meeting being done via a live streaming process. Commissioners participating remotely and in person will be able to make comments throughout the meeting so that we're not all talking across each other and our recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. Commissioners are asked to please say Madam Chair and then your name. As soon as the chair recognizes you, you're free to speak. Please be aware that you may hear an echo. Commissioners participating remotely are asked to be aware and remember that microphones on computers will pick up ambient sounds which will be heard in the auditorium throughout the PA system, including movement of papers, phones ringing, and conversations if others are in the room. So, if at all possible and you have the ability to do so, please mute the audio on the computer. So we'll begin with agenda item 4, applications for certificate of zoning compliance. And the first one is application 4538, CRI Inc., 917 Bridgeport Avenue for a sign. Mr. O'Neill, are you going to give us some lowdown on this?
I will. This was an application that was tabled a couple meetings ago down on the south end of Bridgeport Avenue. The business occupancy has been approved for this business, CRI Incorporated. So part of the package that was uploaded online included 3 signs. Option A is going to replace the IGI letters on the inset of the building there. That's going to be a directional sign. So all the descriptions, day program, human resources, et cetera, that's going to be taken off, and it's going to be an arrow leading to the entrance. So the smaller letters underneath are not going to be there. And then the larger sign, which is option B, is going on the same face, but on the building, that gray portion. And that's facing the street. It will be internally illuminated. And then the monument sign is pretty standard. It's just going to go in the road directory.
Okay, thank you for that. Do any commissioners have any questions for Mr. O'Neill about the revisions that were done?
Commissioner Parkins, sir, I'm still unsure.
Commissioner Perkins, let me put the mic by them up.
I'm sorry?
We have to get you a little louder here. Hold on a minute. Okay, Commissioner Perkins, go ahead.
As was discussed at the sign committee meeting, there was just some confusion as to where the drop-off was going to be and the directional sign indicating that. I don't see that clarification presented in what materials are online. So if Josh could just go over that again, or Alex, whoever was just speaking, could go over that again. I'm
pretty sure the applicant is on the line. They know obviously more about the layout of the building than I do. But the smaller sign, which is option A, which was labeled on the photo that was submitted as a directional sign, again, it's just going to have an arrow underneath the logo for CRI Community Residences, entrance here. So that's designated people, that's the entrance for the adult programs. And then the other sign is facing the street, which is the internally illuminated sign, which is going on the building, that's the larger sign. So a wall sign and a directional sign. And the directional sign is pointing towards the main entrance of the,
So on the picture that shows where A is going to be placed, you have a white column in the middle. To the left is a doorway. That is the doorway for everyone to enter. So above it will be the big sign B that gives all the details of what this organization is, and below it will just be CRI Community Residences, Inc., and an arrow pointing to the left to show the door. Okay, Commissioner Perkins, does that help?
So the confusion was, did you have to actually go up to that sign that's on the building, the front entrance wall sign, to determine that you need to go to the side of the building if someone is, say, in a wheelchair or it's raining? Once they won't know where the drop-off is until they see that sign on the building. So where is the location of B, sign B? Where is that going to be located?
It's above the column on that gray part of the building that faces the street.
correct, they're both facing the same direction. One's just inset, it's a directional for the entrance, and the other's supposed to be visible from the street.
Yeah, if you follow that column up, you have
Yep.
a section,
Yep.
up to on the left face, that's the one that will be facing the street, as is the one underneath. That also faces the street. The walls are perpendicular. The one that is, you go up to the column and you go to the right, that section faces the side and the parking lot. So as somebody turns in from the street and they look straight ahead and they look up, they should easily be able to see sign B as being above the doorway.
Okay, so then why are there two directional signs facing the same direction? Does that fit the regulation?
B does not have an arrow on it. B has all of the details, day program, human resources, et cetera, as shown in the material that was submitted. A just says CRI, Community Residences, Inc., and has an arrow to the left.
That's not the material that's online. A and B are identical.
Not the material that's online.
It's not.
After discussions with the applicant, after the deadline to submit all these things, we determined that one should really be a directional sign, which is a smaller sign, which won't have all the extra description. It's just going to say an arrow, a larger arrow with entrance here. And then option B is going to remain as is without the arrow, and that's going to be the illuminated sign on the top of the actual outside wall of the building.
Okay, so that's where the confusion is. What Commissioner Perkins has access to online isn't what I have here as a printout. Okay, all right. All right, Commissioner Kelly is showing me what's online. No, we're not on that one. Okay. All right.
Which one are we on?
We're on Community Residences. The one on Trap Falls Road. CRI 917 Bridgeport Avenue, rather.
What's the number?
Application 4538. It's the first one, right above your thumb. That's what we were discussing. Okay. Hold on, Commissioner Parkins, Commissioner Kelly is bringing up what's online. Commissioner Dickey, do you have, this online in front of you as well?
I do have this up online.
Okay. Yeah.
It would appear to me that the directional sign would make more sense to be visible as you are driving up so that people are aware of where they're going before they park their car and go to the main entrance.
That is supposed to be online has community residences, and A and B are the same, but it's just that A is going to be modified, as Mr. O'Neill said, for those 2 rows of copy at the bottom of the sign to be removed, and an arrow pointing to the left. So, and as he explained, when that conversation took place after it was the deadline to submit this material online. So do you have a printout of that sample?
No, I don't have any updated rendering, but you know, we can make that a condition of approval if the commission wants to go that way. You know, we're able, if you feel like there's not enough information, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I think, we approved the occupancy back, just at the, October 2nd. When do they plan to have, to be in there?
They're operating already.
They're operating already. And we're meeting next week, so let's get an updated, it can't go on the agenda next week.
It's gonna be next month.
We'd have to wait for a month. So, let me ask the rest of the commissioners.
The applicant is on the phone, I believe it.
All right,
Commissioner Parkins has a question about the lift.
is the applicant that representing CRI on the phone?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, could you verify that you had a conversation, or there's been a determination that option A would be the sign that goes underneath on the wall, and the last 2 lines of copy will be removed, and there's an arrow pointing to the left towards the doorway,
That is correct.
okay? And then the option B is going to be above, and that's, the sizes are totally different. The 30 by 72 goes on the wall underneath, and 40 by 96 goes up on the, above the building entrance. So, and the 1 by 3 is the monument, part of the monument sign. Could you just address Commissioner Parkins' concern? Is it necessary to have 2 signs? What was your rationale for that?
One being illuminated could be seen from the road and from around the corner. It's a long building, so we were thinking that it would direct people to our back corner that our business is located at. Then once they're back there, they would be able to easily see the directional sign that would guide them around the corner to the handicapped entrance.
Oh, I know you're saying it's illuminated, but illumination is only good at night. Are you operating at night?
We're not, but during the day, we were hoping it would help also.
What's a staff's recommendation as to illumination during the day? Is it going to be that visible?
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I was asking a question of staff as to whether or not during the day an illuminated sign is going to lend anything to having visitors to the site.
I don't believe it's gonna be illuminated 24/7. It'd be a standard, sign like there are in shopping plazas all over the city.
That's right, but I think the point of the applicant was they were hoping to have 2 signs so that the sign that was illuminated would be a little bit more visible to somebody entering the parking lot from the street. And if they're not doing nighttime, do they really need to have a sign that is illuminated as well as up on that upper level?
It is a longer building, so we were hoping that would get people to our back corner, like I said, and then once they're back there, they would see the non-illuminated sign with the directional arrow. Yeah,
I'm familiar with the building, and I think we need to clarify, when you're referring to the back of the building, this is not the back of the building, it's halfway down the side. So it's not, you're going to the back corner. This is not the front corner, but it's definitely not the back corner. It's at the side of the building, about halfway down. There is, if you go around to the back of the building, down to the corner and take a left, and about halfway down there's another entrance, and that's to a separate business that has offices there. But this entrance is on the side. So
Right.
okay.
That is
All
correct. But once you drive around to the left, as you know, that second entrance, we actually added an entrance just before that. That is for handicapped entrance. So we have like that corner.
So we have another entrance for your particular business.
Yes, well, that's the handicapped entrance that we're directing people to.
Will there be a sign over that?
That's what I was just going to ask. What about signage for that? What is that signage?
There is no signage at that entrance because it's a private entrance. So once they are directed, they have the handicap parking that is there, and then staff can bring them in.
All right, so you feel that there is no sign necessary to show that handicap door because that is one that staff is going to go in and out of to get somebody from the parking lot?
There's handicap parking spots right outside of that and the ramp for them to go in that entrance.
But how is someone going to know that that is the doorway for a handicap access?
It is the doorway to the day program handicap entrance, yes.
But is there any sign or markings on the door itself?
We were thinking about getting a sticker, maybe.
Okay, the sticker is a sign. I'm going to ask that we table this application. I want exact, explicit diagrams of what signs are going where, and I want photos showing all these entrances and all these signs as they would be placed. So is there a motion to table this particular application?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Kelly has made a motion to table this application for further details. Is there a second?
Commissioner Parkins, second.
Okay, Commissioner Parkins is seconding the tabling. Commissioner Kelly, your vote?
Aye, table.
Commissioner Kelly's aye to table. Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So 4-0, motion passes. And I'm sure that staff will be in touch with the applicant to get all of the information that I've requested so that this is clear to us and we can take care of this next month. Okay, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is application 4387. This is 346 Coram Avenue. And the applicant is Molly Shea for a sign. This was on our agenda previously. And we had asked that they come back. Their original application was for a blade sign over the entrance. And their request now is to have a laser cut metal sign with an arrow over the front doorway and a circular sign on the sign of the building. Mr. O'Neill, do you have anything to add to that?
That's correct. So the circular sign on the left side of the building, if you're facing it, it's intended to be viewed from either the Center Street or the parking lot that's there, and it's not facing a residence district.
Okay, is the applicant on the phone or here in the auditorium? Was the applicant planning to participate today, do you know?
I believe they were.
They were not?
They were.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
All right, the question I have is about this arrow, and Commissioner Kelly has a question, but, Mr. O'Neill, do you have any clarification of what they're saying on their diagram as to cut metal sign with arrow? What's the arrow supposed to be?
So the cut metal sign is the circle that says the Bear Slate, and then the arrow is directing you around the corner to the front entrance.
Well, they're saying the same thing, that's the top diagram.
Right, but that's pointing towards the side of the building. That elevation of the building is not pointing towards the
Oh, okay,
elevation.
got it. All right, so Commissioner Kelly, what was your question?
The parking lot you're talking about, that's the old Walgreens parking lot, right?
Right.
Well, that's private, so.
No,
they can't be
he's
parking-
talking about,
Parking in
I believe he's talking about, traffic would be able to see
Flow of
it coming
traffic
up,
Center Street.
Yeah, coming up-
Farm Avenue.
coming up Court Avenue, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Question I have is that particular white section above the doorway is recessed, only about 18, tops 24 inches in height. Do you know if the landlord is in favor of this extending over their siding, or?
Yeah, the landlord is on board. I mean, I get a letter from them as a condition, right,
Okay.
for the size of the sign typically, and whether or not it means.
You gotta get another mic. All right, so in the meantime, do any of the commissioners, participating remotely have any questions about this particular sign, the front one?
I do, Mr. Parkins.
Go ahead, Commissioner Harden.
I'm hoping that we're all looking at the same drawings. The bare plate on the front of the building, I assume is just going up onto the siding. It's a metal cut sign, which is fine, but there is no additional blade sign in the front. Is that correct?
That's correct. We asked them to, change their format and take that blade sign off and do something that was flush against the building.
Okay, that's fine. And then, so on the side of the building, it's a very nice round logo sign. Is there an arrow that's going to be there as well? I'm a little confused on that, and I don't understand why the.
Yeah, on the bottom right, the number 2 side elevation, they are proposing an arrow to the side, pointing to the front. I don't know the reason for that. It's really necessary.
I don't think it's necessary at all. I don't understand. I think it just adds to the confusion. Obviously, the sign is there directing people. The front of the building is right around the corner. I don't know. I don't think that does anything to prohibit people from trying to park in the Walgreens parking lot. I mean, it's obviously that building is the business. So I just think that arrow is not necessary.
Yeah, we're redundant. Commissioner Tiki, what are your feelings on this particular application?
I would agree with Commissioner Parkins.
Okay. And Commissioner Kelly, do you have any
I
reservations?
would agree.
Okay, so it looks, does somebody want to make a motion on this particular application for the sign above the doorway? Is fine as is, and the round sign on the side of the building would be fine, but the elimination of the arrow pointing to the front of the building.
I'll make such a motion.
Okay, and Commissioner Parkins, you're in agreement with what I mentioned, the sign above the doorway, the round sign, but eliminate the arrow.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second on this motion?
I'll second.
Commissioner Kelly has seconded it. And a roll call, Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0. Okay, so staff will be working with the applicant to communicate the removal of that arrow. Okay, next item on the agenda, another sign is 4396 Three Bridges Coffee House, 415 Howe Avenue, for a sign, and Mr. O'Neill, I understand there's a little bit of a switching going on in this one?
Correct.
This is not your day.
Lights are on and everything.
The lights are on, but nobody's home. Okay.
This is an application that was also tabled in the previous meeting.
Try it again. Okay. Somebody put like a hex on those mics today? I know.
Okay, so this is, Three Bridges Coffee House on Howe Avenue. This is an application that was tabled at a previous meeting, like the previous two. So there's a project goal sheet that, is very thorough and goes over the application. They will have a blade sign, which is replacing the existing blade sign, for Three Bridges Coffee House that's shown on Exhibit 2. That's gonna have an arrow for the entrance, that's a directional sign. And then as well, in addition to that, they're gonna have a Three Bridges Coffee House with the black of the white, letters that's going to be placed, over the portion of the building where the business actually is, and then the directional sign is where the door is to get it.
All right, so Exhibit 1, though, is the replacement blade sign, right?
Correct.
Okay. Exhibit 2 shows a street view of it. Exhibit 3 shows a street view of it. Exhibit 4 shows the new sign as if it was in place. And Exhibits 5 and 6 show a sign that is 24 by 156 inches, that, actually 5, 6, and 7, and it shows it as it would appear on the building over the windows. Okay, so does everybody understand what they're doing? They're changing the wording on the blade sign and adding a wall sign. Does any of the commissioners that have remotely have any questions about these?
Commissioner Parkins again, this was discussed at length in the sign committee. Again, the concern being that I understand, we appreciate that the business is trying to provide signage for both people walking on the sidewalk back and forth to know where the business is, as well as people driving by on Howe Avenue to see the business overhead sign. I think we have to be very careful with this building because there's a lot of businesses in it, and if we start putting signage all over the front of the building, so I'm not opposed to, the blade sign is directional. They did change that because they can't have two signs on the same side of the building to meet regs. So the blade sign is fine, the directional sign. I'm a little concerned with the largeness of the wall sign. And again, it's going to cover up one of the stars, one of the architectural features of that building. And I just wonder if they can't make it smaller to just fit over their doorway entrance, which would accomplish what they're trying to do without setting a precedent where we're going to start seeing building signs all over the front of this building for all the businesses that are in there. So that's just my comment.
But the, part of the sign regulations that the sign, if it's a wall sign, can only go over the portion of the building in which it's occupied, which is what this sign is doing. Another part of the regulation also states that no sign can be above the second story sill of a window. So it's not like there will be permitted to have signs above that location or at different locations of the building unless there's a business directly behind it.
I think, Commissioner.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly, a comment?
Yeah, I think what Commissioner Perkins is talking about is that why those signs? I mean, you have it right by the entrance, by the doorway, and it says Three Bridge Coffee House, and it says entrance. Why have a sign over on the building itself? It doesn't serve a purpose.
Well, one is supposed to be for pedestrians, traffic walking on the sidewalk, the other would be for vehicles.
You could drive by, you could see that sign.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to have one over the building to see the sign.
What would be, well, how much space do we have above the entrance between the two stars, do you think? Anybody know?
I'd say it's probably 3/4 of the length of the sign, so 3/4 of 156.
Okay. That's supposed to be, a 2x13 sign, so we're talking about, what, about 8 feet now? Something like that? Okay. Is, the applicant gonna be participating by phone?
I'm not sure.
Okay. The applicant for Three Bridges Coffee House, are you on the phone? No. Okay. So, we
This
have,
is Commissioner Sicky, Chairwoman.
go ahead.
I would just add I thought the signage there was fine to me, but appreciate that the business owner wants to update it. I do want to be mindful if other businesses in the building, want to add signage to the actual walls, that we have some level of consistency so that everyone doesn't get a sign as they see fit. I like the idea if we could do a sign over the particular doorway so we don't start getting in the way of putting them over stretches of windows and blocking some of the architectural stars of the building. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation.
All right, so, what's the consensus? Is it to just have the wall sign over the doorway and eliminate the blade sign with the arrow that points to the entrance? Because one would be redundant to have both,
Yeah.
okay? So Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Parkins, what do you want to do about that? Eliminate one sign? What's your feeling?
Well, so that was our suggestion, that they just put it over the door. It would be smaller than what they're asking for, but I think it would be, pretty visible to folks both driving by and, so what they were trying to accomplish with the blade sign was to make it directional so that they could meet the regs and have both signs. So,
Okay.
that's, I concur with Commissioner Ticky. I think that, there's a lot of businesses in there, and I understand Alex says regulations would allow them to put the signage over their particular windows, but on this particular building with the architectural stars, et cetera, it could get a little bit sloppy, if you will. So I have no objection to the sign over the door because that's where their location is. I'm 50-50 on whether the blade sign is not redundant, but it is a directional sign. So.
All right, do you want to make a motion to the effect of approving a wall sign, but removing the blade sign? We have to go somewhere with this. Does any of the commissioners want to make a motion?
I have one question before.
Microphone.
Just one question. Is there a sign on the door itself?
On the glass of the door,
On the glass door, no?
I can't tell from any of these. Can't tell. All right, commissioners, we have to do something about this. Is there a motion in one way, manner, shape, or form on what actions to take on this particular application?
Do we know from the applicant if they had one sign, what their preference would be? Do they prefer a directional blade sign, or did they prefer a sign above the door?
They prefer both, because one is designed to be viewed from the road, one is designed to be viewed from the sidewalk. And our regulations permit them to have a directional sign and a wall sign.
Okay, we just don't like to adjust the placement of it. Mr. Neffy, you were trying to say something?
Just what Commissioner Parker.
Do you have a mic?
No, I don't. Just what Commissioner Ticky had brought up. Let's see if there was a question.
Okay. Mr. Neffy was asking, same question as Commissioner Ticky did, did the applicant have a preference?
Just one more question.
And Commissioner Kelly?
The sign above the building, their area, that's 13 feet long, and it's 2 feet high. It's more like a billboard, not a sign. If we keep going that way on the building, it's ridiculous.
Well, the only thing I'd say is, it's Three Bridges Coffee House and a business to the left that has front entrance and access to the sidewalk. All the way to the right is the main entrance for all the individual other tenants in that building on the first floor and the upper floors.
So a sign there, they have a directory there.
Yeah, they have it on the inside of that little entrance. So, but be that as it may, we have to come to a point where, we're at a point where we have to act on this particular application. So unless someone wants to make a motion to approve, deny, table, modify, but
I would make a motion to,
Use your microphone, okay?
I would make a motion to just put up the blade sign. Forget about the
All right, so this is a motion to approve just the blade sign.
exactly.
Okay, the revised blade sign showing the name and the arrow.
And the
So
over
it's-
the entrance, right.
Okay, so exhibit one. So Commissioner Kelly has made a motion for approval of just exhibit one, which is the new blade sign. Is there a second to that motion?
I will second that.
Okay, Commissioner Parkins has seconded. So on the motion by Commissioner Kelly to approve just exhibit one, the new blade sign, Commissioner Kelly, what's your vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay, and Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Dickey?
Aye.
Okay, and the chair votes aye, so just to make sure everybody is, aware, the motion to approve exhibit one, the new blade sign, is approved. And, the staff will get in touch with the applicant to communicate the decision of the commission. Thank you. One is application 40,
Madam Chair, just a point of clarification. I think the reason we have a sign committee is so that these issues aren't brought up and take up the time of our regular sessions. So I would ask staff to consider that, you know, any time that they feel that there's going to be discussion on these signs, that it be provided to the sign.
Commissioner, Parkman, I agree with you entirely, and the protocol is that the sign committee is supposed to meet, so at the meetings, we don't take up time doing this. And all of these, issues are discussed ahead of time. My understanding was there was a problem with having a sign meeting prior to this, due to the, schedule, for at least one, if not more. Commissioner, Mr. O'Neill,
Correct.
comment on that?
The timing didn't work out when you're trying to get the people to submit the applications on time, make sure everything's in order, and then also make sure there's people available to meet before they have to be posted online.
Okay. Yeah, I would just recommend for staff that if you are finding that people are delayed in submitting their applications, then they're gonna have to go do so, but with the understanding that if it doesn't meet the deadline, it does not get on the agenda, and it has to be moved to a further meeting. All right, so application 4534 is the next one, Don Stanziel, 320 Howe Avenue, and the applicant is here in the room. So, Mr. Stanziel, what can you tell us?
Don Stanziel, owner of Cedar Village at Carroll, I'm representing the board now, to go over the sign. So I give everybody, what questions if you have.
Okay, so you're planning something that is illuminated?
Yeah, there's gonna be, it doesn't show it on the picture, but it's gonna go with the standard lights above, 2 of them. That are the
You mean a gooseneck?
gooseneck thing.
Okay. So add 2 goosenecks?
Yeah, they're gonna come in 2 feet from each end. It's actually, before the sign, I put 2 of them up to see how they illuminate it. It's perfect, and we're gonna do it over, it'll be a standard over everybody's sign when we go in with the building. So
Okay.
they are the bronze color, so they match the building, and, it's LED lighting.
All right, so 2 goosenecks, so approximately, what, maybe over the L and the O and bellow, and the I and the O and studio?
Yeah, it's about,
Something around that, Scott?
from the left to right, it's probably over the middle of bellow, and then from right to left is probably the middle of studio. But it illuminates the whole, that's why I wanted to see before we even, obviously, get the approval of the sign, that it illuminates the whole, and they're gonna stay on, so it lights up this front of the building as well. It'll go off in daylight, go on and when it gets dark.
Yeah, okay, all right. All right, so, thanks for clarification of those additions, and the sign is proposed as 14 feet wide, right?
No.
It's above, what is it?
14 inches high, the width is 10 feet.
Oh, okay, I see it there.
The unit is 12 feet. I could go up to 12 feet, but I wanted to come in from the unit a little bit, so it looks nice. And every sign on whoever comes into the commercial spot will have the white background with the maroon to match my main sign for an edging. Now, anybody that comes in with their logo, with their design will not change the outside, so everyone will be consistent,
Yeah, the size of each sign
Everyone.
above will be all the same,
the same.
the coloring will have to be the same.
Right,
Okay, and, no phone numbers,
no phone
Yeah.
numbers.
be careful about the logos, because we have, some.
Well, I wanna say not logos, but that's why I wanted to keep the standard white background,
Mhm.
maroon edging, but if they wanna change the center, to not a logo, but a different color, to
Yeah.
match their color, we as the building owners are good with it, but again, we're gonna be bringing every sign through, but we wanted to make it easy, and once we do it this way, I think you all should agree that it'll all match.
Yeah, I appreciate your efforts at some consistency
Yes.
on this. All right, any commissioners participating remotely have any questions about this particular application?
Commissioner Parkins?
Go ahead, Commissioner Parkins.
Also appreciate the, keeping them informed. It's gonna add to a nice look to your beautiful building. My question is the sign going to be illuminated? Because it's on the drawing I'm looking at, it's an illuminated sign with the gooseneck?
No, it's just gooseneck.
Because the sign does not, the drawing that I'm looking at does not show gooseneck. So my question is it going to be an illuminated sign as well as having the illumination from the gooseneck? Or is it an unilluminated?
Unilluminated sign with just goosenecks. At the time of this, I didn't have the goosenecks drawn on there, but it's
Okay.
unilluminated sign with just the goosenecks, and everyone will match.
Nice, thank you.
Commissioner Parkins, would you do me a favor, where on that page that says ABC sign in the bottom left corner, and it shows, where's the notation for it to be illuminated?
Right under the signage up above, Bellows Barber Studio, it says sign elevation, and then one in steep illum. I was assuming that was illuminated, no?
No, illuminated.
1 inch deep aluminum pan, that's aluminum he's referring to. Okay,
Okay,
all right.
all right, thank
All
you
right,
for that clarification.
Okay, all right. Commissioner Key, you have any questions about the sign? Commissioner Dickey? Okay, Commissioner Kelly, you have any questions about this sign?
No, the only thing I can say is there's beauty
Microphone,
and
microphone,
simplicity.
microphone.
The only thing I can say, there's beauty and simplicity.
Yep, okay, very good. All right, so is there anyone that wants to make a motion on approval for this particular sign? If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns?
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion from Commissioner Kelly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Parkins is seconded. Commissioner Dickey, I was asking if you had any questions on this particular sign or comments?
Sorry, I had another call come in at that time. I don't have any questions, and I'm in support, so I'm happy to vote yes.
Okay, all right, so let's do a roll call. Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
All right.
Commissioner Dickey?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is passed 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one is application 4565, Avery Gall, 350 Bridgeport Avenue, Unit 6, for a sign. The applicant in the audience? The applicant on the phone?
I'm on the phone, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, Avery. And it is Avery, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. O'Neill, do you want to go over the particulars of this, please?
Sure. So Ryan's Cakery is relocating from downtown Ohio Avenue up to the plaza on Bridgeport Avenue where, I forget the name of it, Bull and Barley Plaza. There's going to be a wall sign replacing the previous tenant, and then they're going to be using the same format, the basic same sign that's visible downtown, and then the panel is going to go in the monument, standard size.
Is this this is not illuminated internally?
I don't think so.
Okay, Avery, is this sign going to be illuminated internally?
Yes, ma'am. It's a light box with LED lights.
Oh, okay, all right. Is it, this consistent with the rest of the signs in that particular plaza, Mr. O'Neill? It looks like from the two that are there, Smoke World, Is this a recent photo?
Yeah, so Smoke World and Hertz are all illuminated. Bull and Barley, I'm not sure is internally illuminated, but there's lighting, over the sign, so it's visible at night.
How about, Planet Pizza?
Yes, they also have an internally illuminated sign.
But are they letters or a block sign? Trying to have a little bit of a consistency here. I have no problem with the monument sign at all. That fits, but I'm just a little concerned that we're introducing a different design than what's there from Hertz, the liquor store, Planet Pizza.
I mean, the PDD did not specify any specific regulations in terms of, letters or channels.
Okay.
So it's the wall sign.
Mm-hmm. Commissioners Parkins or Hickey, do you have any comments on this particular sign? Request?
I agree with the chairwoman. I think if there are channel letters that are there currently for Hertz and Smoke World, that it should be consistent with that on the wall sign.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Hickey?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and Commissioner Kelly?
I agree.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the monument sign and request for the applicant to come back with a design for the wall sign above the doorway to be consistent with the other types of signage that are in that particular plaza, specifically channel letters?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion from Commissioner Parkins, and is there a second to that motion? Second from Commissioner Kelly. On a roll call, Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Hickey?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So staff will be in touch with the applicant regarding the request for the change in the wall sign above the doorway.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. It's Avery Gall. The sign that's next to us, which is Hertz, which is directly next to us, is actually a light box. It's not it's not channel signage.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. We will, have staff go out and, supply some, better signage, photos so that we can take care of this at a future meeting. Okay? All right. Thank you, Avery. The, next item on the agenda for a sign is application 4600, Arthur Sign, 7 Trap Falls Road. And this is, the Ravis monument sign. There is a request for a change. We were trying to determine if the existing sign, where the address is, or the one that's in the top left corner on the sheet that was provided.
It's 7 Trap Falls Road.
Right, and can the person speaking on the phone identify themselves for the record, please?
Sure, it's Brian Vassar with Archer Signs.
Hi, Brian. Okay, the existing sign is shown on the bottom of the left side. Where is the street address on that one?
Wait a minute. You're asking me I'm not sure you're asking me. The street address is on the face of the sign.
Okay, is it below the name of the company?
Yes.
Okay.
On the existing one on top. No?
Commissioner Parkins, repeat that, please?
And the existing one is on top.
Unfortunately, the audio is, I don't know if it's just me or Commissioner Tickey's also having the difficulty, but the audio keeps fading out from this meeting.
Okay, I was asking Mr. Vassar where the street address is on the existing sign, and he indicated it is below the name of the company.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. On the existing sign, it's at the top.
Okay, that is usually the style that we follow here in Shelton. Is there a reason why the proposed monument signs did not carry that forward?
No, just that they wanted it, that's where they wanted it, the customer wanted it. I mean, if it has to be at the top, I can't imagine they'd have an issue with it if that's the way it has to be.
Personally, I don't see it as a problem, but I want to make sure that we're following regulations and we're consistent, because the design of the new monument is different. It's one particular section, whereas on the old monument, you had this, it looked like a little peak at the top, and that's where the street address was. So,
Right.
To me, this looks fine, and it's clear for people to see, and that's one of the things that we were always concerned about, is that people driving would be able to see that address. But, other commissioners have any comments on this particular, revision to their sign? Commissioner Ticky, Commissioner, Parkins?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I would agree, Chairwoman, and I also just want to let everyone know, unfortunately, I do have to hop off at this point for a work obligation, so thank you.
Hey, Commissioner Parkins, do you have any, questions?
I think from a directional standpoint, having the address on top, even if it's just a bubble up on top or a circular, semicircular, addition to the top, that the address on top is a lot easier for people to spot than having to look for the address on the bottom of the sign.
Okay, unfortunately, we cannot continue to the balance of the meeting. We do not have a quorum anymore. As I indicated at the beginning, Commissioner Radomski and our two alternates indicated to me that they were not available to participate in this meeting. And unfortunately, we're going to have to end the meeting at this point. To continue on would be illegal. I do not remember this ever happening since my time on this particular commission. But I think we have to follow the regulation that unless there's a quorum, would not be considered a legal meeting. So staff would have to get in touch with the remaining of whoever is under new business, and we will work with you as to rescheduling whatever it is that you were here for, as well as the sign application we were working on, 4600 and also 4590. Seeing that we're below a quorum, I don't even think that we can take a motion to adjourn, but the chair is just going